This is Minutia Men with Rick and Dave.
David, you know, when we do these shows in the morning, I still sometimes remember my dreams.
Oh, from the night before.
Yeah.
What time are you getting up in the morning?
I get up around 8.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not, not too bad.
You don't have to commute into the studio like I do.
Well, that's true. Well, I did have to walk, you know. I've got like 15 steps to come up here.
Right.
But
do you do like a traffic report? There's a laundry basket and avoid vestibule 2 laundry basket.
Yeah, I might start doing that. I know. I wanted to tell you my dream because it was so weird. I dreamt last night that Mark Giangreco got his own radio show, and it was a huge hit.
Because radio's huge now.
Yeah, exactly. And the biggest star on his show, who I had to bring into the show for him every day, was little Johnny Kemper, the 3-year-old version of my son Johnny.
So he's doing reviews, like reviews of...
No, he was doing like stand-up. He was doing, wacky jokes. He was Mr. Non Sequitur. He was like Norm Crosby in my dream.
Yeah.
With Mark Giangreco, and you know, he'd go to commercials and he'd go, "Man, you got to keep bringing him in here. This kid is gold. He's gold."
So Giangreco's exploiting child labor, basically, because for content is basically what you're saying.
I have no idea what that dream means. Maybe somebody can tell us. I have no idea.
So I've been dreaming. It's funny you mentioned this, and I'm not saying it's edible related at all, because I did get you the new bottle of edibles, right?
Right.
So I've been the last 3 nights. And it's totally unrelated, but Cher, you know.
Yeah.
Her song.
We have very celebrity type dreams, don't we?
Yeah, I know, it's true. Cher, you know the song, the Believe song?
Yeah.
It's coming in my soundtrack of my dreams. They're completely unrelated, but
wow,
it's that song. I was like, all right, well, it's a nice enough song. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, geez. Well, we have other
Juana
stuff.
Mango. 10 milligrams are the ones I use.
We have a lot of stuff to talk about today because it's time for the Minutia Man Show.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie production on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Minutia Man with Rick and Dave.
Actually, the edible with a third of an Ambien chaser is creating some good dream content.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And a pizza puff right before dinner.
By the way, I called it the Minutia Men Show. I think that's not the appropriate.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
did you go?
I don't know where the hell that came from. All right.
It's early in the morning.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, this story comes courtesy of our international desk and comes from India. India is actually a good content resource for us.
Oh, big time.
So it's
big time.
Comes out of India. 2 women married to the same man reach an agreement to split days with him. A man and 2 women, including his first wife, have decided to live peacefully in 2 separate houses by dividing 6 days of the week between them, with the man choosing which wife he wants to be with on the 7th day, which is Sunday. The man,
oh my God, I love that part.
What could possibly go wrong? The man, a 58-year-old, so he's a young kid.
Yeah.
A 58-year-old engineer from Gwalior sent his wife to live with her parents in Gurugram during COVID to be safe.
Okay.
Good guy,
yeah.
right? Get out of
heck of a guy.
Get out of Gwalior and go to Gurugram. However, he grew bored during the lockdown. And be fair, how much Netflix can you possibly watch? Right?
Yeah, sure.
And he married a coworker. Okay, a detail that he said he forgot to tell his wife. Well, so she comes home and the proverbial tandoori chicken hits the fan. Okay, wife number 1 files a grievance with the family court in Gwalior, where she actually suggested an agreement that the man spends Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with her, and Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays with wife number 2. And during negotiations, the second wife, so I'm thinking this big brainstorming session.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe they got they got the big mind
conference
map.
room somewhere.
Right. So during the negotiations, the second wife suggested that, that's a great idea, Sally. On the 7th day, he gets to pick which wife. It's kind of like the Stanley Cup. It's the best of 7, right? Now, while I don't know the relationship that these 2 women have, but doesn't it sound like they are in cahoots here and that they're playing him like a sitar here in
you
a
think
way?
So?
Yeah. So I mean, think about this. This dude is totally screwed. It's like, it's, hey, I heard you took Shirley to the new bistro last night. What are we getting? What am I getting tonight? Right? Sally says you grouted her, bathtub. Here's some chalk. Chop, chop.
Yeah.
And think of that seventh day dilemma, right?
Well,
there's no right answer.
I look at it the other way around. I look at it like, which one of you ladies wants to work for day 7? I mean, Maggie gave me
Maggie, Shirley, Sadie. I'm sure these are all the names. These are the exact names. Yeah.
And the other thing, another problem I have with this is just the logistics are ridiculous. Yeah. Why would you do it every other day
and just do 3 and 3 and then 1? Yeah.
Yeah. No. So maybe you're right. Maybe they are messing with him.
They are. It's like the commute is probably terrible. Yeah.
It's making it as inconvenient as possible for this guy.
So this reminds me of this. Every year or twice a year, there's always some story of some guy that lives a dual life and has 2 families, right?
Sure.
And sometimes they're in the same suburbs, right? What could possibly possess you to have 2 families?
I don't know.
It's like,
I don't know. One is a giant mistake.
well, it's like, how many? You've seen 200 soccer games. Now you want to see 400 soccer games, right? How many times can you see Annie? A middle school production of Annie. Just keep to the one flipping family.
Well, what if you have girls with one family and boys with the other family?
Yeah, it could be a whole Brady Bunch thing.
Just a thought. All right, I have a story for you. This one is much more local. In fact, this is unbelievably local. A new class action lawsuit filed in Illinois alleges that the chicken chain Buffalo Wild Wings is conducting deceptive business practices over claims about their boneless wings. The lawsuit was filed on March 10th in the Northern District of Illinois, U.S. District Court by plaintiff Ayman Halim, who currently resides in Chicago but ate these so-called wings in Mount Prospect at the Buffalo Wild Wings you, Dane, and I go to occasionally. Anyway, here's why he filed this lawsuit. Unbeknownst to plaintiff and other consumers, the products that are described as boneless wings are not wings at all. Instead, they're slices of chicken breast meat, deep fried like wings. Indeed, the products are more akin in composition to a chicken nugget rather than a chicken wing. Had plaintiff and other consumers known that the products are not actually chicken wings, they would have paid less for them, like $1, or would have purchased them at all. Therefore, plaintiff and consumers have suffered injury, in fact, as a result of the deceptive practices.
So he's pissed that there's no wing or there's no bones. Is that what
he's pissed that it's chicken breast meat instead of chicken wing meat? Unfreaking believable.
Wait a second, it's not buffalo?
Well, I love this. This is an absolutely perfect response from Buffalo Wild Wings. They tweeted, "It's true. Our boneless wings are all white meat chicken. Our hamburgers also contain no ham. Our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo." You know what else, my friend? Sweetbreads are neither. Head cheese has neither. Cheese Whiz has neither. And let's not tell them about the Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah.
And what's
in there.
Yeah.
So do you remember there's a similar lawsuit that somebody sued, is it Sunkist Tuna? Because it's chicken of the sea.
Yes.
And it was like, there's no chicken here.
We are a stupid country. A stupid country.
Speaking of stupid, but in a good way, Saul Havoc on Podchaser writes, "Minutia Men always puts a smile on my face. I realize that there are a whole lot of dumber people than I." So very
that's nice.
Applicable to what we're talking about. So,
okay.
So please, if you listen to us, review. We're on 1,000 different platforms.
Yep.
It wouldn't kill you to do a little review or subscribe.
Rate us, review us, follow us. If you like Minutia Men, be sure to check out some of the other programs on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. You can pick out your favorite new show at opishows.com. And remember that Opie is hippo backwards, OPPIH shows.com. And listen for the new show coming to the network, Mark Giangreco with little Johnny Kemper.
Right, with soundtrack by Cher.
Who's now 25, which is going to cause a problem. All right, it's time for another feature.
Time Time now for Studio Walls.
And the words of the prophets were written on the studio walls. Rick and Dave.
So this is the part of the show where we dip back into the Rick and Dave archives, which are vast. And we play something that is appropriate from this time of year.
Are our archives more than what Trump classified information he took from the White House? Do you think? I mean, there's how many boxes?
It's pretty vast.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's about the same.
Okay.
It's about the same. All right. So this the reason we're going to play the clip that we're going to play here today, March 24th, 1975, the song "Bad Time" was released by Grand Funk Railroad. And we interviewed Mark Farner, who was the leader of the band, actually the guy who wrote the song Bad Time. And he also was in the band for The Locomotion and We're an American Band and all that stuff. You know, all those great hits from Grand Funk Railroad. We talked to him about a few of those moments, which we'd like to share with you right now. Indulge me.
Please.
I don't want to date you, but I was in 5th grade when one of those albums came out, and our music teacher in elementary school wanted to bond with us, so he asked us each to bring in our favorite records. And I brought in "Yesterday" by the Beatles. I was just kind of getting into the Beatles then, and my buddy Bill Nicholson brought in "We're an American Band," and Mr. Yonke, our teacher, was not thrilled when he heard the lyrics. You know. Booze and ladies, Chiquitas from Omaha. You guys were you were naughty boys back in the day, weren't you?
Well, if you believe Brewer's lyrics,
which I do.
Oh yeah, it's all tongue in cheek, and there's only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But I thought you'd get a kick out of that. A little 5th grader.
I appreciate
Mr.
that.
Mr. Yonke, here's a song about groupies. All right.
That's great.
So I got one last Grand Funk question. We can get to some of the other stuff here. But one of my favorites is "Bad Time." And I know that you wrote that song, too. Can you tell us how that one came? Was that a dream also?
No, that was a reality check. My first wife, I was married for like 2 years, and my first wife was, I'll just say, we were having some difficulties in our relationship, and I was gone and on the road, and when I was gone away, the cat would play, and I made up my mind, and when I got back, and I had heard some stories, what have you, but then a friend of mine that I trust with all my heart told me something. I said, and I confronted, and she didn't deny anything. And I went in, I sat down at this little spinet piano, and as she is pissed off and threatening to put a 12-inch cast iron fry pan through my forehead, I'm in there writing "Bad Time to Be in Love," brother.
Yeah.
And that song was played more than any other song in 1975.
That's Bad Time.
You know what I think is interesting? Was it last week where you said that you were going to use the Starsky and Hutch novel for your fifth
book
grade
report? Yeah.
for a 5th grade book? Yeah. Mr. Yonke was not. I hope he's still alive and listening to this podcast, because
it's a good thing I have good recall because that's where we get material for the show.
Hey, Rick, I've got another story here.
Okay.
And I've been pretty much smiling ever since I read this story. Headline: Millennials are reaching middle age and realizing it's not all what they hoped.
You sent me this headline, and it just made my day.
It's like a little.
I had a bounce in my step the whole day.
You were walking on sunshine, weren't you?
It was just like the greatest story of all time.
Canadian market research firm Ergain Resources just released data on a 20-year longitudinal study. Do you know what longitudinal means? Basically, you're studying the same people over a 20-year period.
Okay.
And these are people that were born.
You're not studying longitude.
No.
Okay.
No. I have a latitude check. A joke.
Exactly.
I just can't get it out. So they basically had these people. These are people that were born in 1981, the year we were graduating from high school.
Right.
Mr. Yonke was probably still teaching 5th grade.
I bet he was.
So they followed these people that were 1981, and they followed them over 20 years, and they collected data. Well, it appears that these people are getting a little bit grumpy. Okay. You want to hear some of the reasons why maybe they're a little grumpy?
Because adulthood sucks?
Yeah.
Wait, what? It sucks? Yes, it does.
So, for instance, 57% of the respondents were under the impression that the average work week was going to be around 25 hours when they hit 40. Well, not the 38 hours, which it is right now.
38? I wish.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the average. Also, 67% of millennials underestimated how much their yearly income would be when they turned 40 by 40%. 54% of millennials thought they would be able to retire by 50, which is just a mere 22 years shorter than what they're probably going to retire if they can ever retire. This might be my favorite. 63% of millennial males thought that they would be having sex 2.7 times per week when they hit 40. And that's just 4.6 times more than the 0.58 times they're having sex now per week. 65% of millennials thought their children would be better behaved than they were.
Oh, boy.
Which is now 41% more than their current attitudes on the subject. And this one is funny and sad at the same time. 54% of millennials thought that climate change would not be an issue when they turned 40.
Yeah, well,
so
there you go.
Womp, 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 womp.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. All right, I have a story for you. This one...
FICA? How much percentage is this? I'm taking out of my game.
Look at those kids over there. Why don't their parents take care of them? Why are they acting up like that? When we have kids, this is how we're going to do it. Well, and our kids will sit there quietly and they'll behave and they won't do any of this.
One of the things that Michelle and I did before we are not going to take them for drive-through fast food. Yeah, that is, we're going to give them good food and it's going to be organic with it.
I remember when we had, we were among the first to have kids. Right. And I remember, going over to my in-laws' house, and they had, there are 7 kids in the family. Right, so there were like 4 or 5 that came after us with kids. And they would come to the house and see, Tommy and Johnny, and, they'd be like, okay, well, what, they're eating cereal right now?
Right, right.
Yes, they're eating cereal because otherwise they'll starve to death.
Right.
And you need to find that out.
Right.
If you don't give them something that they will actually eat,
they will die.
They will die.
It's not really that hard.
Anyway, all right. I have a story here. This one's for the ladies. Ooh. All right. This is a story about a California man who set 2 Guinness World Records this week. Now, what are the records he set? In fact, I'm going to read this a little slower for the ladies to fully appreciate what this man has done.
Not James Brown.
Barry White.
Barry White, that's it, right. Mm-hmm.
His first record, Dave, having the world's longest tongue. Ooh, and it's not just big ladies. He knows what to do with it because this man, Nicholas Stobel of Salinas, California, used that long tongue and played Jenga with it. He removed...
Is that a euphemism or is it actual Jenga?
He removed not just one Jenga block. He removed 5, one at a time, with his tongue. Wow. And that's not all. Yeah. This is how talented this man is. This is not a joke. He paints with his tongue.
I saw the video. Yeah.
He paints with his tongue. Upstrokes, downstrokes, watercolors, swirls.
Happy accidents.
Oh, yeah. That's a record-setting tongue. The most popular man in Salinas, California. And his name is Nicholas Stobel. Yeah. Congratulations, Nick.
You want how much you want to bet that whenever he meets anybody, it's within 15 seconds he's flopping out the tongue saying, by the way.
Oh, that makes me laugh as he sticks his giant tongue out.
Did I ever? I must have told you. I probably told it 7 times in this podcast that when I had my colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Is it a colonoscopist? The guy, that whatever, said that I had one of the longest colons he has ever seen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what they say?
If you know what I mean.
You know what they say about the guy with the long colon?
All right. It's time for another feature.
A random name pulled out of Rick's bowl of brushes with celebrities. Mixture, collection, selection, assemblage, medley, assortment, variety. Time now for Celebrity Potpourri with Rick and Dave.
So this is the part of the show where we share the stories that you send in via email. And, we're down to like 4 or 5 more. So please we got to replenish.
Okay, we don't have the backlog that we used to. Okay.
So send them to, you can send them to rick@eckhartspress.com. That's an email that will work for you. This one comes from John, Jon, no H. Guys, I love your podcast. I have a long drive to my office at the University of Chicago, and I look forward to Monday so I can listen to your podcast on the way in. I have a celebrity story for your email bit. It was pretty recent, too. Just before the pandemic, I was walking on the campus and saw a mom and her son walk by me. She had a bunch of tattoos, a giant head, and was wearing these pink sunglasses. It was impossible not to notice her. She was exotic, although I didn't even consider that she might be famous. It wasn't until a few hours later when she and her son came into my classroom to sit in a lecture. This could happen to you.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Various different.
Sure.
When she took off her sunglasses, I recognized her immediately. It was Angelina Jolie.
Wow.
She was on a college.
She's got like 68 kids, right? So they're going to be going to college right now.
She was on a college visit with her son. I don't think he decided to come to U of C, but he was a nice, quiet kid, and I chatted with him after the class, and she was very nice, too.
Well, that's a great one.
I think so.
That's a great one.
That's kind of got you going, doesn't it?
Yeah, right. Who's the famous kid that's gonna? Can you imagine going to college and then being the son or the daughter of someone crazy famous? They must hate it, right?
It'd be terrible.
It'd be just terrible.
Yeah, that's why I decided not to become famous.
Right, for your kids.
Yeah, it's the main reason. Well, we have another show that we do called Minutia Men Celebrity Interview. Not 100% sure what we're going to have on there this week. I think it's going to be
Kurt Elling. Right, Kurt Elling, 2-time Grammy Award winner, 14 nominations, perhaps the greatest jazz vocalist in the world right now, certainly. We were able to...
World-renowned.
We were able to talk to him. What a nice man. My new BFF. So that should be on it should be on when our show comes out.
So be sure to check that out. All right, we need to thank some people. Well, we have to give special thanks to executive producer Tony Lasana with opishows.com.
Did you see Tony's hair?
No.
He has not cut his hair in like 3 years.
Oh, really?
And he, on Facebook or whatever, he does the little, like not time lapse, but it's the chronology of his hair.
Oh.
Doesn't have any relation to anything, but
okay, I'll check that out. Long flowing locks, is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah. And it's still brown too, isn't it?
Yeah, but I would imagine it's going to go gray soon, right?
Yeah, he's got to be near our age. He's like 10 years younger than us.
10 years younger.
Yeah.
He's 20.
All right. Yeah, he's like 22. Opie is hippo backwards, OPPIH shows.com. We're distributed by Ed Silla with Radio Misfits. Great Talk Radio isn't dead. It just moved to a better place. RadioMisfits.com. And we'll be back again in 2 weeks. Should we explain what's going on here?
Sure.
Next week is got a lot of stuff going on. We've got a writers conference that I have to attend.
I've got Angelina Jolie. I'm giving her a tour.
So we'll not have a new show next week, but we'll be back.
Listen to one of the old ones.
There's tons of them.
There's like 300 of them.
300 of them. They're all cold.
Yeah.
We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of
Minutia Man.
The preceding was a presentation of Opie Productions. Find our other great shows wherever you find podcasts, including opishows.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?
We are a stupid country. A stupid country.